listening to Sweep the League.
Hey, this is George Heisman Talk, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
All right, it is the We Take Over Wednesday edition of Sweep the League. It's going to be myself. It's going to be the Hall of Famer, Derek Gervin. I just got a text. Coach Gio, we're going to work on him getting back. He's actually out of town on work right now, business related. So once Coach Gio gets back, we're going to have our third member back, Coach Gio. Shout out to everybody that helps Sweep the League. All of our producers behind the scene to get everything done for us. Shout out to all of them. But again, Coach Gio should be back hopefully soon here in the next week or so. We'll get Coach Gio back on the schedule somewhere. He might do a few days with us here, especially with college football ramping up with the bowl. It's coming up here. But tonight it's going to be myself. It's going to be Derek Gervin, Hall of Famer Derek Gervin, MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Be sure to call Leha and the boys. Hey, man, foundation. We always talk about foundations at Sweep the League. A good foundation is the great start to anything. Leha and the boys can lay the perfect foundation for your home. If you're a business, you need a parking lot, they can do whatever you need for them to do. Call them today. They are 100% backed by Sweep the League, and it's a guarantee by those guys out there at MCS General Contracting. Shout out to Leha and the boys, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Jacob Erickson here, Buckets. We are working on that. I haven't forgot about you, Jacob. We are working on a card podcast as well, so that's going to be coming out as soon as I can get time to get in there with him. And JD White, I was going to say bottom of the net, but he prefers a chain net as well. Yeah, Derek Gervin doesn't really miss. The one thing that Derek always taught me was when you shoot, you don't want to hit any rim. So that's something to keep in mind. You want to hear nothing but the net. You want to hear the net, the swish. However you like JD and you want to hear the chain, you hear the chain. But let's not waste any time. Let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Hall of Famer, UTSA Hall of Famer himself, Derek Gervin. What was I correct on the bottom of the net right there?
Hey, good evening. You're very correct, man. You're not supposed to hit the rim. It's supposed to be all net or all chains.
All net, all chain, man. Is it a failure if you hit any part of the rim? I mean, it's almost impossible to never hit the rim.
Well, it just makes you work on your follow through, and you make sure your legs and your body and everything's aligned. When I used to play George, we play 1-on-1. If it hit a little bit of the rim, it didn't count.
Oh.
So it was kind of hard. You could be playing, if you can't shoot, you could be playing for quite a while. So it turned us both into pretty good shooters.
I would say both they are pretty good at shooting, pretty good at scoring. I mean, the Gervin family tree, basically, it's scoring, man. It's all about scoring. So nothing but the bottom of the net. Jacob here, Derek gets buckets. Yeah, I was there that day when we shot that commercial. He got a lot of buckets that day. That's for sure.
Don't ever forget now, my brother shot over 51% in the league, and he took quite a few shots, but in high percentage shots. I shot 55% in the CBA when I played before I got to the NBA. And if you look at it at UTSA, my freshman year, I shot 52% from the field. And then my shots went up a little more, took a few more shots as a sophomore. I shot 54%, and then as a junior, 56%. So it came from a lot of hard work, a lot of practice.
There you go, kids out there. It's about the hard work. It's about the practice. That is definitely what it's going to come down to. Man, Derek, we got a lot to get into. When I talk a lot, we got Bill Belichick. He's already pretty much signed, sealed, delivered for those Tar Heels out there.
You see what I wore today, don't you?
Yeah, the baby blue. Is that what it is? Baby blue.
You're a Tar Heel fan.
I'm Tar Heel, as you can see, live and die.
You just got one of maybe the greatest resume of any coach that's ever coached football on the college or pro level. So it's no coincidence I have this on tonight.
I want to ask you some questions about that because I tweeted out a little while ago, or I X'd out a little while ago. I don't know if I'm supposed to be happy or just kind of concerned. I don't know. We're gonna dive into a little rabbit hole because I got a question for you on that. We got the PFT. Our friends over at Pro Football Talk have their rankings out. We're gonna go over the rankings. We've got a in case you missed it moment at the end of the show. We're gonna talk even. I've got the list here. Heisman. I was trying to get into Heisman Talk yesterday. We got to get the Heisman Talk because Genty made a pretty damn good point, and I want to bring up his point here in a little bit. That to me says, okay, I got you front runner over Travis Hunter, if you put it that way. Also, Derek, we got to talk about some other stuff as well coming up on the show. AJ Dybantsa. I can't remember.
The best player for 2026 coming out of high school.
2026. I'm gonna throw something out there because people were questioning. He didn't go to a blue blood school. He didn't go to Kentucky. He didn't go to UConn. He didn't go to North Carolina. He went to He went to BYU.
Cougars. Yes.
Cougars. Now, people are like, oh, hey, no big deal. Well, you know what? If you open up the curtains for AJ, I don't know if it smells a little fishy in there or what's going on, but we're going to get into that because I got to get to talk to you about that. Plus, you had some comments on some NIL that I saw on TikTok. I got to get your comments on the NIL because NIL kind of plays a little bit into the Bill Belichick hire for North Carolina. And I kind of like what you were talking about because this is going to be the first time I feel that we're going to get problems with NIL. And that's kind of where I'm looking at right now. Cut off sleeves, NC hoodie. I think I'm going to go get me a NC hoodie and cut off the sleeves and walk around with that with the pencil in my head or something like that. Go a little Bill Belichick, Matt Patricia on there, man. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into it right now. We're going to talk some Bill Belichick. So finally, Billy Boy is going to be the new head coach for the North Carolina Tar Heels, the Fighting Tar Heels. Now, I believe they said it's going to be like a 5-year deal. A lot of speculation whether Bill's going to actually coach the 5 years at North Carolina. People say he's probably going to be an NFL coach before you know it. He may not even make it past the end of the first year at Carolina. A lot of talk, but I want to dive into this because the reason why I'm kind of concerned, it's not so much that he's a college coach at my not alma mater, but my favorite university. It's the fact of, does it feel a little odd, Derek? Because he really isn't desperate to be a coach to where you can't sit out at least till the end of the NFL season. I feel like there's something back in the back burner of the NFL. Something happened, and I'm not saying Bill got blackballed by the NFL, but something doesn't feel right to where he just automatically jumped at the opportunity to coach North Carolina. Now, take for granted, if he would have waited till the end of week 1 when it comes to the college football playoffs, the possibilities of Ohio State could open. The possibilities of Penn State could open. Bigger jobs, bigger money, bigger chances to get a national title. But he chose North Carolina. I say it's interesting because to me it's a little like crazy in the sense of, do you think there might be something in the back end that we're not seeing? Because I see better opportunities out there than North Carolina.
Well, first of all, it is weird because, I don't know Bill personally, but looking at his career, and then you're talking about a man that's been to 12 Super Bowls, been on the winning side of 8 of them, 6 as a coach and 2 as an assistant. So that's what we're used to as far as him being an NFL guy. But this move here, I told you what I felt. I don't know who he's talked to or if he's been blackballed or anything. I don't think he's been blackballed. I think maybe, he's not the youngest guy. If you look around now, how old is he? 72 or something like that?
He's in his 70s. Yeah.
So this would be, it smells like, to me, Rudy, to be honest, it smells like on the back end, Carolina Panthers. And that's the only reason I could really see him taking that job. Maybe it's to prove to people that he still has that fire again. Because he's been riding around on his bikes and traveling and, going camping and everything with his girlfriend. And, of course, she's 24. And I'm sure everyone is not in love with that. But to me, this is a chance for him to show that he has that fire still. And to me, it's a one and done player that goes to college for one and done. I think if he goes there and kind of gets the team back on the right path, I say for after that, the Carolina Panthers would be on his radar. And that's why I think he really made the move. We don't know. We're speculating. But for me, it smells like a Carolina Panthers.
You bringing up points that I remember you talking to me about, that the Carolina Panthers quite possibly could be opening up. And I mean, he's in the backyard of the Carolina Panthers because at North Carolina. I just felt like it was kind of a rushed type of thing for him to go to North Carolina. And it was just out of nowhere, the Tar Heels. Like, okay, you got rid of Mac Brown. You got rid of one, dinosaur to go hire another dinosaur. And it just felt like, well, okay. But, you let go of Triceratops to go get Tyrannosaurus Rex. I get that completely. You get the best coach out there. But the best coach out there would have never taken a Tar Heel job. That's the part. And you keep mentioning the Panthers position. I can totally see that part of it. But I mean, he could have easily just waited, because if they really wanted to get rid of the coach at Carolina, they could have done it this season easily. I mean, they're not winning games. They're looking better, but they're not winning games. So and you're right. I don't think he's blackballed in the NFL. I just didn't know if something maybe had happened behind the scenes that we don't know. People say his attitude, he's a hard guy to work for. That brings me to my NIL thing that you brought up on TikTok. On your TikTok, go follow Derek Irvin on TikTok. Post a lot of great videos out there. So be sure to go to TikTok, follow Derek Irvin on there. You mentioned about NIL, the attitudes, because you're getting paid, Tom Benson Chevrolet is going to pay so-and-so, $150,000 to represent the company. Well, if you have a bad attitude, I don't think you want Tom Benson Chevrolet wants you to represent them with that kind of attitude. So this is where the Bill Belichick thing comes in, because remember, Saban was on his way out with the whole NIL thing. Bill's coming in. Man, I can't see players. I don't know if there's enough NIL money for them to stick around, for Bill to be yelling at him, yanking him out of games. And to be honest, Bill on the couch telling, a 5-star quarterback, you're my quarterback you're going to be my starting quarterback. You're going to be my starting quarterback. But we also know Bill, he wants to win. So if you're not getting the job done, you're going to get pulled, and it's going to hurt a lot of feelings. I think that's kind of why I'm still kind of a little frustrated with the hiring. I like the hiring, but NIL is going to have to be, it's going to be a whole big picture at North Carolina right now with Bill.
If you're going there, I guess as a player, you have to be looking at the future. I don't see a lot of the name, image, and likeness being a big thing there, because Bill is a disciplinarian, and these guys are going to have to be focused. I don't see him letting guys do all the little extracurricular activities and all of that on the field after they score. And so this is, I guess, these guys, you just have to trust the process, as they say, and know that you're going to be on the radar. When you play for his team, you're going to at least be on the radar. And today I think the discipline has kind of gotten away. So on that aspect, I think it's going to be a good thing having Bill, because we got to bring back some of this behavior, man. These guys today, the name, image, likeness, I love it, because it gives some an opportunity to capitalize on, get financial gain. But if you look at it, it's made it a lot of me type play. And that's what I don't like about it. So I hope he can at least fix that somewhat. He can't do it by himself. But if you go to play for him, it's kind of like back in the day, Rudy. You already know going in, if you're going to play for Bobby Knight, you're hoping that he's going to make you just as good a person, not just a football player. If it doesn't work out, you have something else to fall back on, which is your education. And he talked about that in the interview the other day. And so guys know what they're getting when you go play for him. And it's going to take a lot of discipline, and the guys are going to have to be disciplined players, but they know that in advance. So I don't think that'll scare off a lot of players. Yeah,
and Tim's mentioning those schools that we mentioned too. And I think I think Derek kind of hit it right on the head there, where he said, this is kind of the backdoor way to get into the Carolina Panthers organization. You know, he probably will be looked at completely 100% when it comes to Carolina Panthers. If they ever decide to move on and hire another head coach, it probably will be Bill, because he's in the backyard. I mean, he's coaching North Carolina.
Not if. Hey, not if. Man, look, you let them go, 5, and you let them start off the season 3-6 or 2-5, and who's right down the street? I bet you the coach got nervous right away when he heard that Bill Belichick was going to North Carolina, and the coach is scratching his head. What's going? Why is he taking that job with all these opportunities out there? So you got it. It makes you think, if you're the coach or the general manager, whoever it may be in North Carolina, it kind of shakes you up a little bit and makes you get on your game, because we know if he were to go to North Carolina as the player to the Panthers as a coach, what else is he probably going to want to be? General manager?
Manager. Yeah.
So I think that's where he has the best opportunity to do both things. It wouldn't happen with the Cowboys with Jerry Jones. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that for him, a lot of people kept saying Dallas Cowboys. But we know Jerry's not going to give over ownership, basically, as a.
No, he
not going to let Bill run it. I believe that I believe in Carolina. I believe Carolina's talked to Bill already. And this is like I won't even say a tryout. They just got him right down the street. Go ahead and coach a year, and then we'll see you next year. And I really believe that, so he can just get back in the flow of coaching.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry didn't put up with Jimmy Johnson. That's why Jimmy was gone, because Jimmy had too much control over player personnel and everything in his own mind. So that's a big reason why.
Parcells.
Yeah, Parcells. No, the other part is Bill, and I'm going way around the world with this, but you know, Bill's got a nice 20-something-year-old girlfriend. You know, he's living life. There's a job where she would probably love to relocate to. That's probably going to come open here. And I mean, if he wants total control and total ownership of everything that goes on, I have no problem seeing him in Las Vegas with the Raiders. I mean, that to me, that would have been the perfect job for Bill Belichick to go right into, because he's going in to rebuild a North Carolina Tar Heel team. Okay, cool. But if you want to rebuild an NFL team that has a kind of a bright future, I think it's the Raiders, and Davis is going to give him all the control he wants. So I don't know. Again, maybe he just did this as
what if he likes the life? What if he likes the lifestyle though in Carolina better than he likes it? Because wasn't he in Maine or somewhere when he retired?
Mm-hmm.
So what if he likes that kind of lifestyle as opposed to somewhere like Las Vegas?
Yeah, I could probably see that. That's a good point right there. I just figured, I don't think Antonio Pierce is going to be there very much longer. I don't think he comes back next year. I think he gets fired at the end.
Bill and I'd see Bill and the Raiders. Just for me, man, that would be a tough one for me, because what's that guy? That's a John Gruden type job. John Madden back in the day. For me, I don't even know if that's kind of lifestyle Bill wants, to be out there in Las Vegas. I mean, the man, has a young girlfriend, but he's still in his 70s. And I don't know if he wants to be in that kind of environment. And the Raiders, I don't know. I think Carolina has an opportunity to rebuild before they do, and with the Raiders. And I mean, he studies this game. And then if you have an opportunity to live somewhere that's really nice, because my ex-wife and I was married 30-some years, and I said on air, my ex-wife is born and raised in Charlotte. And Charlotte is this really, really nice place. North Carolina is really, really nice. And that puts you where, Rudy? And chance for the Panthers. And what else is about 3 hours from there? The Atlanta Falcons down the road.
They had a chance for him. They already had a chance for him. They didn't take it.
But they could get another one. Now, this is business. Remember, you always put on your GM hat.
I do.
You got you got Carolina and you got the Atlanta Falcons right there in the area. So he has just two options over one.
I can imagine the good that he would do with the Atlanta Falcons. I think he probably, for me, would probably fit a little bit better, I think, in Carolina than he would in Atlanta. Atlanta's more ready now, but I like Carolina's future. I really do.
What if he likes Penix?
Oh, God. I hope we get. I don't know what it is with all of the coaching staff and, Arthur Blanks. Everybody still backs Kirk Cousins. I mean, I've thrown more touchdowns than he has in the past couple of games, man. I mean, Kirk's kind of crapping the bed there, man. It's Penix time. I know you're still competing for the division, but I mean, come on, it's getting
Blanks
bad.
is loyal though. But if you look at Arthur Blanks, doesn't he seem like a loyal owner to you?
Well, yeah, he kept Matt Ryan for all those years. So
yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. He seems like a very loyal guy. But even having him, that you bring up Arthur Blanks, you don't think he's made a phone call? You say they had the opportunity to get Bill.
They did.
Bill might have turned it down for we don't know the reasons, right? But having him down the road could make you kind of reevaluate a situation and figure out how to make it happen the next time, right? Sometimes that door is closed the first time you try to walk through it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you just see it start opening up. So he has the opportunity to coach two teams, either Carolina or Atlanta, and I don't think either one's a bad option. We know he wants to coach in the NFL. You will say that, wouldn't you?
Oh, I doubt. I 100% agree with that. He wants to be an NFL coach again.
And don't you think he wants to coach a young guy?
Well, he's got Penix and he's got Bryce Young, both young right there. Yeah, I would say so. Definitely. He would want that opportunity. I think, people will say, well, he had the opportunity to coach Mac Jones. Mac Jones is, not as dynamic as Bryce Young and Michael Penix. So
right.
Mac Jones was boring, like just a boring quarterback. And I don't know. I mean, that's why he's backing up.
Rudy, but Bill is a very intelligent guy.
Very.
It's not just like all out of this clear blue sky. We got on the blue today, but not just out of the clear blue sky. He decided to settle on the North Carolina Tar Heels. And maybe, I don't know the relationship between him and Mac Brown, but even still, you could name another 40 or 50 colleges or universities that people might put over North Carolina as far as being his option. But where did he settle? And I don't think Bill does. And Bill's a very calculating guy. I think he made this move for a reason.
Maybe he felt sorry for me and said, you know what, I want to bring a national championship to North Carolina in football for that one guy in San Antonio, Rudy Campos. So I appreciate it, Bill. If you can give me one before you leave, which would probably be in one full year at North Carolina, I would really love it. But again, I don't think he stays the entire 5 years, if that's how long the contract goes for. It is Hall of Fame.
Heck no.
Yeah, no, he's not going to stay the whole 5 years. If he does, that would be pretty crazy. I'm not going to say I'll eat a book or something crazy like that. I'll just say it would be really crazy if he ended up staying the entire 5 years. But, from Bill Belichick to Heisman candidates, man, these are the two guys, Derek. Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty. Now, what Ashton basically said was, his comment right here was, the whole defense every single week is towards stopping him, and they still couldn't. When he said that made me want to vote for him that much more, because he's right. Every team that they played, they're on the board, on their chalkboard, on their whiteboard, whatever. Their game plan was, you have to stop Ashton Jeanty. And they couldn't. I mean, he was within 200 yards or less of beating Barry Sanders' season record.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason why this kid should not be your Heisman winner. And again, I mean, it's right there. It's right there. This was and I don't even know if the last game has his touchdowns in there, because I think he was at 30 something after the last game. So, I mean, just by going with these stats right here, which again, I think they're a little bit older than they're back in December 6th. So yeah, the games I don't think is already in there, but who would you go? Is it Hunter or Genty?
I've thought about this a lot, Rudy, because we've talked about it now for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I have to go Hunter, and just because of what you just said, because if you think about it, Genty at the first few games of the season, no one really knew who he was, right? So teams didn't start ganging up on him until later on as the season started to progress. Then they started game planning for him. Travis Hunter, they've been game planning for since last season. And then you got to go to the defensive side of the ball. He might be the best defensive back in college.
Yeah.
So everybody's also been trying to, stop him as well. And they haven't been able to do it. So when you look at playing on both sides of the ball, the effectiveness that he's had, you can't go wrong with either guy. But I don't think we're going to see a Travis Hunter for a while. We haven't seen one since maybe maybe Deion Sanders type guy, or Bo Jackson type guy. When's the last time we've seen something? Well, effective two-way.
Yeah, effective two-way. Honestly, I don't think we've seen one. I mean, you probably have to go back in, Red Grange.
The young man said you've never seen anything like me before. And if you really think about it, I mean, is he lying?
Well, I mean, I know I wasn't. I know you weren't. We weren't alive during the Red Grange days. Red Grange plays both sides of the ball.
Yeah, Red. Yeah, if you go way back to Red, but other than that, you can't think of anybody. And then here go the biggest factor for me. The biggest factor for me, because you had Shedeur rated what, 5th, 6th round?
Yeah, I still have him. For me personally, he goes in the first, but grade wise, he's
last season you had him 5th or 6th round.
I had him 6th or 7th.
At the beginning of this season, you still had him like 5th, 6th round, right?
Beginning of season was 5th and 6th. Yeah.
Who's the main reason they talking about the number one quarterback? Because I don't believe he is.
Yeah.
But who's making him look great?
Well, it's Travis Hunter, 100%.
Well, that's why I give him the slight edge over Genty.
But I throw this at you, and I'm going to see if it sticks on the wall, on the Sweep the League wall. If Colorado doesn't have Travis Hunter and the Boise State doesn't have Genty, who still has more wins? I think Colorado still has more wins.
Yeah, I do. I believe that as well. I can't argue that.
Based off of MVP talk. I'm sorry, Derek. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you didn't. I'm just trying to think. No, I'm with you on that, because I'm trying to figure that part out. It's going to be, because the judges, the voters, going to have a tough job on their hands, because say you were to switch teams and put Genty on Colorado. Yeah. We know their running game gets much better, and that probably makes them a more formidable team. And then I think if you put Travis on Boise State, their quarterback all of a sudden will be getting a lot of recognition as well. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough one, man. It's going to be tough. We haven't had one this close. Last year was kind of close, but a lot of people had already gave it to Jalen or Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, so a lot of people kind of, we pictured him as the winner before it was announced. This one's going to be a tough one, man, because how can you deny Travis Hunter? And he's a 4.0. Mm-hmm. I had to throw that in. He also has a 4.0 grade point average.
You made a comment, and it made my eyes like bug eye and my jaw dropped when you said, well, what if you put Genty on a Colorado team? I think that makes Shedeur a little more effective, because then you're kind of looking at single coverage. They're looking at a lot of man-to-man opportunities. You're almost going to have to, stack the box. Your linebackers are going to have to play up close because you have to
Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, it makes him Lamar Jackson.
Which is a multi-time MVP player in the NFL. So
but still a question mark about his passing ability in big games.
True. That's a big idea there. I mean, because Travis on a Boise State team, they're still pretty good. And what's crazy is Travis Hunter was supposed to be a Seminole, but something happened at Florida State that, he didn't go. So imagine
how about Cole? How about Jason Kidd and Grant Hill? How about Cole Heisman winners?
I wouldn't be mad at that.
And then Skitterboo or whatever his name, Scatterboo comes in third. He comes in third.
How does that guy Scatterboo? How does he not get an invite? That to me, that is
crazy. That is a travesty.
Yeah, that is a major travesty. So, Cowboy fans, I still have Scatterboo going to you guys in the third or fourth round. That's your running back right there. You do. I'm telling you right now, if the Cowboys have the opportunity and he's there in the third or fourth, they got to grab him. Scatterboo's to me, he fits what the Cowboys are doing perfectly. I think he's a north to south runner. He can get around the edge a little bit, better than some guys for his size. He's just a big guy and he's a powerful back. I mean, I'm still doing my prospect reviews and grades and everything. So, and I've covered him a little bit. I haven't got all my game film down. I'm still watching game film on him. Reminds me a lot of Jerome Bettis, but faster, just power.
Better than what they expected from Ezekiel.
Oh, much better. Yeah. I mean, there's some aspects of his game where he needs to work on, but I think Scatterboo in a Cowboy uniform, I think he's day one starter. I'll be 100%. He's day one starter for the Cowboys. And it makes it would make a whole world difference. Now, if they're drafting where they are, I think Mason Graham, Will Johnson, somebody on the defense has to go, because if you go get a Mason Graham out of Michigan, you can say goodbye to Micah. Just, trade him or get rid of him. Mason Graham, that's fine. You can kind of have him as your replacement there. So, but yeah, Scatterboo's, I got a star on his helmet. There's a reason why I got a star on his helmet, man.
There's no way he shouldn't be at the Heisman. He should be sitting in the room with these two guys. And it's a shame, man. I mean, the guy, he even did the Heisman. You know how confident you have to be to do the Heisman polls, even though you're not getting the recognition that you should be getting. And so it's going to be interesting. These two guys, Rudy, both have earned it. If Genty won, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And at the end of the day, I might give it to him because he has been, if you look at the way, the only thing I penalized him a little bit for was like mid-season. He kind of fell off a little, but he only fell off the pace that he was on because he was averaging like at one point 11, 12 yards a carry.
Yeah. He was.
And so then he kind of fell off a little at mid-season, but he was still better than any other running back in the country. But I think they might penalize him for that little skid, I'll say, that he went through, even though they were still winning. And I just think they like Travis for one reason, mainly the biggest reason is the notoriety of being with Deion Sanders. And I think that's why he's going to win, not necessarily because he deserved it the most, but because he's been getting the most notoriety, and he's with the Colorado Buffaloes, who, as we know, 2 years ago were 1-11.
Before we go to commercial break, I want to ask you this, and let me see if I can change your mind. Does the Heisman vote matter that Genty got his team into the CFP?
Yeah, it should, man. I mean, he got him in the top three. So
got him a first round bye.
Top 3, yeah. So it's going to be a tough one, man. I mean, if you give it to him, I can't see how Travis could really be upset, but we know he would be, and vice versa. Yeah. So it's going to go down to the wire. But if you look at it, putting him in the top 3, the committee putting Boise State top 3 and Arizona State in the top 4, I guess you kind of got that gives him a little advantage. You know, they didn't want to have Boise State and Arizona State, but I guess they had a choice if you look at the young man's production. So maybe that will be what gives him the final edge.
I think that probably is the reason why he will get the Heisman, is because he was able to get Boise into the CFP top 3 and get first round bye. So I think that right there pretty much solidified his Heisman, just in my opinion, but it could go either way. I mean, it's college football, Derek. We couldn't even predict the final.
Well, he is top. I mean, they are top 3. So Boise's had some good teams over the years and that nice blue field and all that. But they had them in the first round with a bye. That's powerful for the program. So that could be the deciding factor. It wouldn't surprise me if he won.
Yeah, we're close to the Heisman already coming up here soon. So we'll see who's going to win. It's Hall of Famer Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr. We're going to take a commercial break. On the way back, Pro Football Talk released their power rankings for the NFL. We're going to take a look at that. Caught off guard moment. It's going to be coming up at the end of the show. And it's actually a redraft of the NFL from this past year. There's one player that I still don't understand why he didn't get love. That's going to be our caught off guard moment. Also, we're going to talk about AJ and the BYU move. Is there something really behind that? I'm going to see if I can make Derek scratch his head on that one. It's Hall of Famer Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr. Coach Joe will be back soon. This is our first commercial break, our last commercial break. We'll be back in a minute. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting, building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
You are watching Sweep the League TV. Make sure you subscribe and catch our new videos.
Sweep the League TV with Rudy, Derek, and Coach Gio. Let's get back to the live show. You are watching the best in the business. For the ones who doubted, now we're showing the proof. Came from the struggle, we live in the truth.
STL Music.
Yeah, challenges come, but we here to stay. Built from the dirt, now we paved the way. Had a bad day, but this life ain't bad.
All right, welcome back to Sweep the League. Hall of Famer Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr., Coach Gio on his way back. He's actually, like I told you guys, he's working a lot right now. So we're working on getting him back on the schedule. He'll be back from being out of town on work pretty soon here. So be on the lookout. The trio, the three amigos will be back all together again, hopefully very, very soon. So be sure to go to YouTube, search Sweep the League TV, be a subscriber. We're up to close to 1,300 subscribers. It's hard. We got a couple of weeks, but we want to get to 2,000 by the end of the year. That would be crazy right there. So
who are you guys? Are you Larry and Curly or Larry and Shemp? I'm Mo.
You're gonna be Mo, yeah, because you definitely are Mo when it comes to us. You know what? I'll take Curly. I can be the funny one. I'll take Curly. And Gio's bald, so he can take the Larry part. We can put a little bit of hair on the side of Gio.
Yeah, Gio could be Larry because Larry's a little more serious than the other two.
Yeah, we'll give Gio the Larry treatment there. So the Three Stooges will be back here Hopefully so. I thought Joe put his name in the transfer. No, that's funny. I love that comment. Tim, no, he did not. He did not put his name in the transfer portal. Let's just say he's on IR right now, so he'll be back pretty soon. But no, he didn't transfer out. So appreciate everybody joining us here. Be sure to go to Sweep the League on YouTube, search Sweep the League TV, be a subscriber. Also, we're launching. We launched a lot of stuff here. We have Sweep Unplugged. Those interviews coming out. You got the Bez Boys podcast. You got I Am Refocused Radio, STL Music. You got other stuff coming up as well. But there's also Sweep the League TikTok, and it's going to be TikTok live. So this show is going to kind of be followed up with another TikTok live show. There's just a lot of stuff going on. Be sure to go to YouTube, Sweep the League TV, search that, be a subscriber. Also go to TikTok at Sweep the League, be a follower on there, so you can catch all the latest episodes and all the new stuff coming up on the Sweep the League TikTok side of things. So, oh man, that was a lot to talk in 1 second. So we're going to get to our pro football talk rankings, Derek. Here we are, man. So the latest rankings are out here. Week 13, obviously number 1, the Lions. I mean, there's no better team than the Lions. The Eagles at 2, Chiefs 3, Vikings 4, Bills falling down to 5. That's okay. Steelers, Packers, Ravens, Broncos, Commanders rounding out the top 10. Your first thoughts on our buddies over at Pro Football Talk and their power rankings?
Well, I'm loving the Lions at number 1 still. I'm kind of questioning the Eagles at number 2 because they still have an offensive issues. We already know Jalen Hurts, I think the last game passed for about 108 yards.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an issue. And then when you got your players talking out publicly. So I don't know if the Eagles right now, I would probably have people might think I'm crazy, but I would probably switch the Vikings and the Eagles right now. The Vikings have been playing on all cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam Darnold has to be in the MVP conversation. And I would put for me, it would be Lions, Vikings, Chiefs, and then I would have the Eagles. And so other than that, I mean, it looks pretty good. The Bills dropped to 5, and I can understand, even though Josh basically had 6 touchdowns. And I do have the Steelers over the Packers. I'm a little right now, I don't even know if I had the Ravens number 8, Rudy. I probably would have the Broncos over the Ravens right now. And the Chargers would be up there, maybe over the Ravens right now.
I think so. I can do the Broncos. The Chargers, I would probably say 1 behind the Ravens. I kind of still have the Ravens a little bit better overall.
They got Jim Harbaugh, man. They only going to continue to get better.
Oh yeah.
The Ravens, John Harbaugh's job could be on the line.
I know.
So I got to go with the team. Yeah, so I got to go with the team that's ascending, not descending right now. And so for me, that's why I put the Chargers over the Ravens. There's still a lot of question marks with the Ravens, and the Chargers are continuing to ascend.
Yeah, I'm not too mad at the rankings. I mean, the Ravens at 8, I can probably go a little bit lower. Broncos definitely. I think I have the Broncos with you. I'm really high on the Broncos right now. I would have them above the Ravens. Honestly, the Steelers, man, Kansas City's going to kick my ass for saying this, but the Chiefs at 3 is based off of their record. They haven't looked good at all season, and they're not going to continue to look good the rest of the year. I mean, you and I went to the what if world yesterday, and they had the Chiefs at 2-10 on the season or something like that. I mean, in one possession games. So I don't find the Chiefs as the third best team. I probably put the Vikings, the Bills, the Steelers, the Packers. I would put a lot of them over the Chiefs.
What do the Chiefs?
Mahomes in the record.
What do the Chiefs have that other than Mahomes that other teams don't have? It's called black and white shirts, man.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't kick us off for saying that, but I don't care.
Well, I'm just saying, if you look at it, it looks like a lot of funny stuff. This is an honest show. I mean,
yeah, we are.
It seems like they get a lot of breaks. And so, even if you be honest about it, when it comes playoff time, don't you worry about it? Who's your favorite team in the NFL other than Falcons, Rudy?
Right now?
Yes.
Or just
your
who
favorite,
I cheer for?
the team that you like other than the Falcons. That's a good team.
I mean, I've grown to like the Lions throughout the years. I mean,
so the Lions against the Chiefs, wouldn't you be kind of skeptical about what could go wrong? It could be not even a face mask or whatever, or not a roughing the passer, but Mahomes gets those calls. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong on that. I mean, to be 100% honest, like we always are, the Chargers were the better team against the Chiefs this past weekend.
Well,
I mean, there's you can't convince me they weren't. They were the better team. Period. The better team. And that sucks because they got cheated.
It's just one of the certain teams, man, the flags get picked up for them.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs are one of those teams. Only team in the NFL, if you want to be frank about it. So that factors in.
There's nobody else. Huh? There's nobody else that gets those calls. And
it's ridiculous.
To be honest, before anybody gives me crap because I said the Lions was another team that I'd cheer for, I mean, you're talking, I go back to the Barry Sanders days, the Rodney Peete days. I mean, I go way back on the Lions, so they can't give me any crap on that kind of stuff. So Wayne Fontes.
You picked them. You picked them before the season to win the Super Bowl.
I did. You and I both did.
So it was. So we didn't wait till like week 10 or any of that stuff. This was before the season. So I mean, they're an exciting team. If you look at them right now, they're one of the top 3 exciting teams in the league. I think the Bills are exciting with Josh. Of course, you got Lamar is exciting. And then you got Justin Herbert. So there's some exciting teams out there. But when you talk about top of the line, the Lions are one of those teams that people want to see every week. And I enjoy seeing Montgomery and Gibbs. And, I mean, they're just an exciting team. You don't know if Dan Campbell's going to go for it on 4th and 28. You never know. So that's a team that I want to watch.
Dan Campbell's the guy that will go for it on 4th and 28, but punt it on 4th and 1. I don't know. I never get the Dan Campbell style coaching. You know, one team that I look at when you're talking about 20, let's go 20 down. The Falcons at number 20. I mean, they've just been playing bad. It's Kirk Cousins playing bad, but a team that I'm circling is at number 26, the Panthers. A few weeks back, I said Bryce Young looked really good. And what's weird is that he looked good with the rest of the rookie class they had and the rest of the young guys. I remember telling Gio and you, I said, I expect them to be more competitive throughout the season now. They look a lot better. And sure enough, every week, they're right on the cusp of winning. They're not winning yet, but they're on the cusp. They took the Kansas City Chiefs to a field goal. I mean, every week they're looking better.
They look better than the Jets, the Bears, the Cowboys. Right now, if we're going by today, they look better than the Jets, the Bears, the Cowboys, the Saints.
Yeah.
Maybe even the Bengals, because the Bengals are just a 2-player team right now. And that's Burrow and Jamar Chase.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen the Panthers grow as a team. So for me, 26 is too low. The way they played the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, I think they should be higher. That's a team that's getting better right before our eyes. And Bryce Young lost his position. He's back in there now. And he's cementing himself, I believe, as a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, he really is. I couldn't imagine them giving up on Bryce Young right away. I figured, they're going to do another year. They're not going to go and get a quarterback in the draft. There's much bigger needs that the Panthers do need. So I really felt, okay, they're going to give Bryce another season next year. The end of this year, he's looking good. I think Carolina's actually on their way up. I like what they're doing. Then, of course, you've got the Bengals, as you mentioned, at 21. Out of the whole column on the right side, the Bengals are the team I can see get into that left side of the column. It's a two-man show, but something's going to give. I think with you're seeing also T. Higgins start to perform a little bit better, coming off of the injury that he had. You're seeing Chase Brown run the ball a lot harder. You're seeing Burrow, as we mentioned yesterday, kind of get into that MVP form.
Thank the Cowboys for that. But yes, I hear you.
Yeah, we can thank the Cowboys for everything that goes wrong in the NFL. But I think the Bengals are the one team where I can see them kind of jump to the left side. Now, are they a playoff team? I don't see them as a playoff team just yet, even though they're 10th in the in the American Football Conference. That doesn't mean they're out. They still have an opportunity to make it. They're going to need a lot of help to get in. I think they're like 3 games out of the playoffs, but
yeah,
I think power ranking wise, they can work their way to that left side.
They're the other team they're the only team, and I'm sorry, but they're the only team on the right side that possibly could win out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. Yeah, because everybody else on that side. The only other team I would think that has an opportunity to move up a little bit more would be the Cardinals at 18.
Yeah, they can move up, but they not. Yeah, but the Bengals, if they get hot, they could move up and win out. I don't think the Cardinals can win out. If any team is going to win out on that side, it would be Joe Burrow. So I'm still not going to just push them aside yet. They got one last breath, and we'll see what happens. But you can't bury the Bengals yet because we've seen them these last several years. They've been a formidable team. They've had some breaks go against them this year, but when you got Joe Burrow, you can never count them out.
No, you never can, and that's the thing that I'm feeling pretty confident in. I think I'm pretty confident that I think the Bengals can actually do good and go to the right side of the power rankings here. That's our NFL power ranking talk. We're going to get into our AJ Dybantsa talk now. I want to quickly get into this before we get into the caught off guard moment here, because what happened, AJ picked BYU. Now, there was, I'm just going to throw this out there. The chatter was that, he'd love to play for San Antonio and Orlando. Those are the two teams that he would love to play for. Cool. I get it. You know what? It got Spurs fans riled up. Oh my God. AJ, that means you have to be bad another year next year. I don't think you're going to be bad again to get the number 1 pick for AJ. So let me put that to rest. I would say about 99.9% sure the Spurs aren't going to be bad enough to get AJ in 2026. But what you do is you look at where AJ's been. He transfers to a Utah prep high school. Okay, I get that. Okay, no worries. He goes and signs to play for Brigham Young University. Shocker, because like we mentioned earlier, Derek, there's plenty of schools out there he could have gone to get more notoriety, to get way more exposure than BYU, way more. But why did he do that? Okay, there's a team in Utah, the Jazz. How do they tie into BYU? Their owner is a former BYU alumnus. Their general manager went to BYU and Danny Ainge. So NIL money, in my opinion, is coming from those two donors to fund AJ to go to BYU. It's just 1 season. So what does that mean? To me, that means Utah is all in. It's the Patrick Ewing. It's the LeBron James effect. Utah is all in for 2026 to get that number 1 pick. And if they don't, they have everything in their power, Larry Markkinen, everything, to move to get that number 1 pick. I think AJ is a Utah Jazz when it's all said and done, because everything just seems to be set up. Why transfer to a Utah prep school? Why go to BYU? Everything just seems to be like writing on the wall, Derek. That's just my opinion on that.
I don't think you're wrong. And then I have to throw in another factor. The coach has some ties with a guy by the name of Kevin Durant.
Correct.
So that's another big factor. So when you got guys like Danny Ainge, ties to Kevin Durant. Yeah, it kind of sounds like a Patrick Ewing, David Robinson type situation. So I won't say too much about it, but yeah, it was kind of different for him to pick. The Brigham Young Cougars out of all the schools in the country. But I mean, maybe it's a new trend that guys are starting. That's part of that Neil I talked about it as well. So he's been promised something. We can be honest about it. He's not just going there and not going to be making money. He's going to be making money. And
he's going to make a lot of money.
Hey, yeah, I know. So I guess that's why he settled on Brigham Young, that financial security before he even plays a day in the NBA is what it sounds like. I wish him well. So
yeah,
behind the scenes, you know how that game, that NBA is something else, Rudy. I mean, it's a business. I don't know what's been said to him, but I promise you it's been only good things. So him going to Brigham Young, it's a reason. It's several reasons. You named a couple of them and throw in the KD factor as well. I mean, I can only laugh.
Tim is saying he's going to make $7 million. Now, can you think Brigham Young basketball can come up with $7 million for NIL?
Look, man, Brigham Young had a player by the name of Danny Ainge, and then they had another guy way back in the day by the name of Devin Durant, not Kevin Durant, Devin Durant.
Yeah.
Those are the only two players I could even basically think of for Brigham Young basketball. So we got Mr. Dybantsa, AJ Dybantsa coming now. Hey, all I'm gonna do is wish him well. But yeah, it sounds like a little funny stuff going on, but we'll find out more.
Yeah, I just had to bring that up because to me it was kind of crazy how everybody was trying to figure this out. And shout out to a guy on TikTok. I'm gonna repost it on Twitter when we're done here, or X. I saw him talking about it, and I got to give him credit on it because he was talking about it before I even could talk about it with you tonight. So I saw it this morning. He gets all the credit in the world first. We're talking about it now because there is something crazy going on. I think in 2026, Dybantsa is going to be a Utah Jazz. It's set up for him. I have no problems with it either. I mean, no problems at all. No problems. No issues with it. If you're going to go to Utah, they're going to pay you, a hefty thing. Can you bring a title to Utah? Who knows? I mean,
Rudy. The funny part is he sound like a smoke screen. You say you want to play for the Spurs or Orlando, but yet you sign with Brigham Young. There's something wrong with that picture.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to kind of unravel this as we go in the next college basketball season and see him play at Brigham Young. And does he even really stay at Brigham Young? I mean, for all we know.
But I'm just not North Carolina, not Wake Forest.
Yeah.
But Brigham Young, even though he mentioned Orlando, we know with Paulo Banchero and Wagner. And then you got Wake Forest with Tim Duncan, but yet he signs with Brigham Young. And who wants to play for what reason? It has to be a lot of money for me to even entertain playing with the Utah Jazz. A team that's right now, I don't know where they are. So I guess he's trusting the process.
He's trusting some kind of process, and we'll see where it goes in 2026. Before we go, we got to get our caught off guard moment here with Derek Irvin and Rudy Campos. We'll be back in 1 second. This is our caught off guard moment. All right, man, we're going to catch guard the redraft of the 2024 first 10 pick. Here we go. Moment. They've got Jaden Daniels going 1 to the Bears. They've got Caleb 2 to the Commanders. You can see the rest of them. But again, at number 6, the guy who's going to be your offensive rookie of the year, if you were to redraft them now, why does he go number 6? I mean, I can make the case for Jaden Daniels at 1, But the Commanders taking Caleb supposedly at the redraft, the Patriots taking Drake May. I have no problems with that. But why is Bo Nix not in the top 3? I mean, he's already proven that he's a winner.
Top 3. Why is Bo Nix not in the top 1? If we're going by the way they played the last several weeks.
There you go. I'll give you that.
So that's ludicrous for me. If we're going by what have they done for me lately, he's been the best rookie quarterback the last 5-6 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
So he should be number 1. I think Mr. Daniels has had a spectacular year. I would have him number 2, but I would even have Drake May over Caleb Williams, to be honest.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, Drake May, he struggled, but he's putting up numbers. He's getting some wins. Bo Nix is the best rookie QB right now. Jaden Daniels, I can definitely put him at number 2. But for me, it's Nix, Daniels, and, Gazzado's in here. He has Daniels, Caleb after that. I think he's saying 13. I don't know. Caleb Williams 13. But nonetheless, it's Nix, Daniels, and then May. They have Bowers at 4. I don't mind Bowers going to the Cardinals. Joe Alt is the perfect pick for the Chargers. There's no hands down about that. Jared Verse getting drafted in the top 10 was a must completely. Why doesn't Atlanta go back and do that? I mean, come on. I would have taken. I was screaming for Jared Verse on draft night, and Gio was texting me back like they're going to get Jared Verse. I hope so. No, they picked Michael Penix Jr. What the hell? I mean, Jared Verse is right there. Marvin Harrison as a Bear. Now, could you imagine? That's what I want to ask you. Could you imagine Bo Nix with Marvin Harrison with the Bears, or Jaden Daniels with Marvin Harrison on the Bears? I think the Bears
or Drake May, Rudy. I think Drake May is going to be a really good quarterback.
I don't doubt that.
Really good. Really good.
I don't doubt that at all.
I would rather have, but if I'm looking at Bo Nix with Marvin Harrison Jr., oh boy.
That is crazy.
Bo might turn into Dan Marino.
I don't doubt that. And the one part I don't like, other than the Caleb Williams at 2, you still have Penix at 7. We haven't seen Penix yet. So if you're doing a redraft, I would think you would draft based on players who have performed right now.
Production,
Fashanu, an offensive tackle would have been perfect at 7 for the Titans. So
Penix 10.
Yeah, I mean, even the Vikings taking Quinyon Mitchell, I do like that. I mean, again, the Vikings could have gone there with Quinyon Mitchell. They could have gone with Dallas Turner in a redraft. Somebody on the defensive side of the ball. They obviously didn't know what they had when it came to, Sam Darnold. But, the Michael Penix thing, I think if it's a redo on the draft, you haven't seen Mike yet. Hopefully we see him soon, because I'm getting tired of Kirk throwing more interceptions. We need to change our interception commercial to Kirk Cousins, because it's not Dak Prescott.
That's why you can't have Penix number 7. If he hasn't cracked the lineup and Kirk is 0 touchdowns and 8 interceptions in the last 4 weeks, what does that tell you?
He's not ready.
He hasn't cracked the lineup yet. Kurt haven't thrown a touchdown in a month.
Yeah, and I think
come on.
Yeah, because I was saying Caleb's out of the top 10. I think he's putting Penix out of the top 10 as well.
Penix has to be out of the top. We haven't seen anything.
Yeah, or we haven't. So I definitely would put Penix out of the top 10.
Man, he's sitting behind Kurt. But Kurt right now might be the worst quarterback in the league the last month or the last 5 weeks.
I don't know if he's the worst in the league, but he's
Rudy, I love you, man. But let me say this again. 0 touchdowns.
I know.
8 interceptions. When have you heard that before?
Probably my freshman year, when our freshman quarterback was quarterback.
Okay, well,
so
you can't say Jameis Winston, because if he have 8 interceptions, he might have 8 touchdowns.
Yeah, Jameis is the only guy to put a 5-5-5 game like we talked about. 500 yards, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
So you have to go really look over a seat of a quarterback. So even like Bryce Young and those guys, I don't remember Bryce going 0. I know he struggled early in the year, but he didn't have 8 interceptions to go with 0 touchdowns.
Yeah, Gonzalez says he's thrown 10 interceptions and 0 touchdowns.
Well, now it's 10. Well,
he is a Falcon fan, and he says Kirk sucks ass cheeks. I will definitely agree with that. The thing with Gazzato, I'm a Falcon fan just like him, and I'm telling you right now, Gazzato, Derek is my witness, Gio is my witness. I did not like the Kirk Cousins signing from the beginning. I was like, no, I can't deal with it.
Hey, look, Rudy, you like that. Isn't that amazing how sometimes you should just be quiet? You like that? And right now in Atlanta, they like, hell no. We don't like it at all.
No, man, golly. I don't like it. I get Jeff George vibes right now when it comes to Kirk Cousins.
Oh, boy.
I know. Look at the reaction that you got.
Boy. Well, you pulled a great name out the hat. Oh, boy. But here's the difference between Jeff and Kirk Cousins. First, Kirk, Michigan State guy, but Kirk has to have the best agent in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. I would say he does. You got him a great contract.
That guy's made a whole lot of money, even before this contract.
Yeah.
He's been making a boatload of money. I mean, I don't even know if is he even better than Ryan Fitzpatrick?
God. I want to say no.
Ryan didn't go 0 touchdowns, 10
interceptions. I was going to say that's
Nick Foles. Nick Foles. Then you can't put Nick Foles in there.
Nick Foles won. I mean,
right. That's what I'm saying. So the only guy, if you just go right off your memory, it's got to be Jeff George. Yeah. And I don't remember Jeff even going 0 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. And if you look at it, they were early in the year. Your team was in the running.
They were looking good.
They were looking real good.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you explain all of a sudden the jersey? I don't know if his eyes went bad or if he's playing with an injury that we haven't heard about. But all of a sudden, instead of throwing to the red jerseys, he started throwing to the opposite jerseys.
Yeah, you're right on that. I'm dumbfounded, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Gazzato, the boy Kirk ain't better than Daniel Jones right now.
Did he say ass cheeks?
He did call him ass cheeks. Said right there, Kirk's ass cheeks.
Gazzato, that's cool. Oh my goodness.
You know what?
That's a good one.
But it's true. It's cold.
He said ass cheeks. I can't argue it.
We can't argue with it, man. Just like you guys out there cannot argue the fact that Sweep the League is definitely one of the best shows in town, one of the best shows on YouTube. So definitely go to YouTube, subscribe to Sweep the League TV. Be a subscriber, man. It's the holiday seasons. We're going to be giving away some gift cards for the holiday seasons. Coach Gio should be back here probably within a week or so. He's got work going on, so we're going to have to get back Coach Gio. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 o'clock. We have our Pick'em show coming on Friday for the weekend for NFL. Got a lot of bowl games coming up. I believe there's some bowl games this weekend they start, so we'll make some bowl prediction picks this weekend as well. Talk some more NBA as the NBA Cup is pretty much coming to a close. You got the final.
Rudy, let me say quickly while you're on that. We've been quick shout out because we've been talking about Atlanta. I don't want to totally burst your bubble, so shout out to the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, shout out to
taking down the Knicks. Atlanta Hawks in the semifinals of the NBA. What do they call it? What kind of cup is it? The Emirates Cup or something?
Yeah.
So, shout out to the Atlanta Hawks. So, it's not all bad in Atlanta. Good things going on with Trae Young and the group.
Yeah, definitely. They're doing really good and pissing Spurs fans off because the Spurs fans want that lottery pick. But sorry, it may not happen. But 2025 draft is loaded. College basketball talk. We'll get into some college basketball talk. I promise you on that. And Gonzalo saying Gio's eating deep dish in Chicago right now. Don't let him lie to us. Well, if he's eating deep dish, he needs to send us a piece of some deep dish pizza. I'll be sure to text him and say, send that to myself and Derek. But we'll be back tomorrow, 9 o'clock. It's going to be another show, Sweep the League. And then Friday will be our pick'em show. So for Derek Gervin, Hall of Famer Derek Gervin, Rudy Campos Jr., until we sweep the league again, we'll see you there, Knuckleheads.
Everybody have a good night.